Hey guys, I'm wearing my hood like this because it's a polar vortex and I'm freaking cold, and Gretchen Whitmer told me to turn my heat up down to 65 degrees. So my house is kind of chilly, and also there's no angle that avoids showing my double chin. So this is a better solution to that. But the real reason I'm making this video today is because my Twitter is amazing, probably one of the greatest art pieces of our century. And I just am not getting the recognition that I deserve, I think. So I'm thinking maybe you guys just like don't get my humor and just don't understand my jokes. So I'm going to go through my Twitter today and explain why everything is funny. Which, yeah, definitely explaining the joke doesn't make the joke not funny. Sorry if you can hear my annoying bitch-ass brother in the background. I told him to be quiet multiple times, but he's annoying and didn't listen. Okay, but before we even get to my tweets, I first want to point out my Twitter profile picture, which is really funny. It's a picture of me at night with my hand up like this. And the reason that's funny is because it's a really bad angle. It kind of makes me look like I have a mustache, and also kind of makes me look like I am a frog. But I'm not a frog. Disclaimer, also don't have a mustache. Also, my Twitter bio I want to point out. It says former lead singer of Nirvana, and that's funny because I wasn't the former lead singer of Nirvana. That title belongs to Kurt Cobain, who is no longer alive. So looking at my profile, the first tweet that I can see says, "Attention, from now on, I will only refer to potatoes as potential tots. Thank you." And that's funny because first of all, it says attention, which usually implies that the following message is really important, but the next following message is not really important. And also, it's funny because not all potatoes are potential tots. Some potatoes are potential fries or potential chips or potential mashed potatoes or even potential baked potatoes. So that's why that's funny. Also, the thank you at the end is really like, it just adds that little extra cherry on top and makes it even funnier. So my next tweet that I can see says Avengers Assemble, and that's really funny because it's just like Avengers Assemble, but it's with an O. So it kind of like throws you off and makes you think a little bit. The next tweet I see says, "Can't believe that Shaggy that sang It Wasn't Me and Shaggy from Scooby-Doo are the same guy." And that's really funny because they're not the same guy. Next thing I tweeted 8 hours ago says, "I am me, but if I were not me, I would definitely follow my Twitter because I am funny." And that's just funny because it's the truth. Next tweet is a picture of my dog on the couch, and his ears are a little bit staticky, and he looks like a gorilla, kind of. So I tweeted, "Arthur looks like a small gorilla," and that's funny because he's not a small gorilla. So going down the list, my next notable tweet says, "Overalls plus leather jacket equals absolute unopposed coolness." And that's really funny because that combination of clothing would probably not look good and probably does not equal absolute unopposed coolness. And also, absolute unopposed coolness is probably like, it's really over the top, and it's a really over the top description. Definitely not what overalls and the leather jacket would be. So that's why that's funny. This tweet says, "From the bottom of my heart, thanks," but thanks is spelled THX. And that is funny because "from the bottom of my heart" is usually used as like a very genuine statement where the person like genuinely thanks another person. And THX at the end of that just kind of, it's like disingenuine. So the contrast between those two things next to each other creates a really funny tweet. My next tweet says, "My dad took away my Wii," and I actually can't take credit for this one because my friend said it in the car because it actually happened to them. And this tweet is funny because it's like, it's relatable. We've all been there. Our dad has taken away our Wii before. So a lot of people can relate to this one. And it brings you back to like 2007 when Wii's were around. And it's just really funny. Brings back those memories. One of my next tweets says ravioli with an exclamation mark. And that's really funny because you normally don't hear people just say ravioli with an exclamation mark. Oh, this one says welcome to the Midwest. And that's funny because I wrote it with like the phonetic spelling of someone who has a Midwest accent. And I think that one's funny because it really brings you like right to the Midwest, right in like a homey spot where someone's actually welcoming you to the Midwest in their Midwest accent. I actually thought of that when I was in Indiana, which I'm not sure. Is that part of the Midwest? Okay, this one says it's all just atoms bouncing around out here, man. And that one's funny because it sounds like something a stoner would say. And stoners are funny. This one says, I may be an atheist, but I am not a sinner. And that one's funny because usually when you are an atheist, you don't believe in like sins or follow a god or a religion. But sinning is something that corresponds to Christianity. So that's why that's funny. Does every school have that guy that just carries around a basketball? Why does he have that basketball? What is he going to do with that basketball? That one's funny because it's actually based off of a true story. I was walking around at school and I just every day would see this guy with this basketball. He always had it, didn't know what he was going to do with it. He was just carrying it around in the halls at school. And it's like really relatable, and a lot of people retweeted it, 3 in fact. And it got 5 likes too. So I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to that. A lot of people just have that guy that walks around with a basketball. I didn't do my homework because I'm a flawed human being. That one's funny because it's kind of like an over-exaggeration. And that's it. This is some heckery. That's funny because heckery is not a real word and it's kind of a funny word. This one says can't wait for college. College is spelled C-O-L-E-G-G. And that one's funny because people who are going to college can usually spell college correctly. This one says, I deadass don't even be feeling like a real person anymore. And it's funny because it has some very choice emojis. It's like written in the way that certain people on Twitter would talk like, or like captions over certain Instagram screenshots. So that's why that is funny. It's because normally they just say dumb things. But this one says you don't feel like a real person anymore, which is kind of like deep and not really that funny. But in this format, it's funny. This one's funny because it says who is chitin, and chitin is not a person. It is a biological material that some insects use to make their exoskeleton. Anyway, I definitely have way more funny tweets where that came from. Way more funny tweets to come in the future. If you want to follow my Twitter, it's @KateSpear. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. And from now on, I better get the recognition I deserve on Twitter. Thanks a lot. Bye. Trying to be the next PewDiePie. Shut the fuck up. You should follow me, okay?